All right, I'm going to show you a couple of techniques to add some spray paint and some spray texture to your poster. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to open up my document. You can't see it, but it will, it's not there. It will be File New. And again, we should be working in tabloid size, which is 11 by 17. I'm going to make this one a horizontal. Your open menu will be a little bit different than this because you have a slightly different version. All right, so the first thing I want to do is in Google Classroom, there is an example of a texture. And I'm just going to click and drag that texture in here. In this case, I'm using cardboard. So I dragged it in here, hold your shift button down, and we will make that a little bit bigger as it jumps around. But I want to cover up the blank white document portion. And I'll hit enter to place. You can see it's a little out of focus. You can choose a texture for whatever you want to use, but it should have some sort of paper quality in the background. Now I'm going to click that and I'm actually going to lock it there so it doesn't move around. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some text. Also on Google Classroom, there's a stencil text that you can load into Photoshop. It's called Marsh Stencil. I'm going to click anywhere there, and I've already selected it. And I'm just going to type in my name. And I'm going to make it actually pretty big just for the demonstration. So we'll make it 200 point. There we go. All right, so once I have that selected, I'm going to hit Command right on the text layer, and you're going to see that it's going to select everything. Once it's selected, I'm going to go up to Layer, New Layer, click OK, and then I'm going to click on my rectangle marquee tool. So right there, I'm not going to select anything on the document. All I'm going to do is Control or right click and go Select Inverse. So what it's saying is it's selecting everything other than the text. So if I actually turn off the text layer down here, you can see that there's still a selection that shows up. So now I'm going to go to my brush tool and I'm going to choose just a pretty soft brush, and I'm going to go over to my brush palette menu. I'm going to open it here. Let me just keep clicking, I'll get it right. And you can see I have a couple of things that I want to check. The first one is I want to check noise. So I'm going to add some noise to this brush. I'm going to make it scattered a little bit, and you can see down here is the sample of what it's going to look like. Remember, I want to try to give this more of a painter, a spray paint quality, so I want the outsides to be kind of soft. You can actually go through some of these pieces as well. Let's click the wet edges, and we can go there. All right, so close that down. The other thing I want to mark is I want to have this button pressed right here. This acts as a pressure sensor, so it's like using an airbrush. The longer I stay in one place, the more paint or ink it's going to place at a certain spot. So here we go, and I'm using a computer at home. It's a little slower, so it's going to jump around just a bit. I'm hoping it doesn't get away from me. So you can see if I hold the mouse down and click, you can see it's adding more paint right there. I can change the opacity as well. I'm going to go back to 100. Now, on Google Classroom, I've also loaded a brush preset. And that brush preset is spray paint. So you can see right here, I can actually use my brackets to make that brush a little bit smaller. I'm not a fan of that. I want to make it smaller. So you can see I can add some drips in here if I want. And I'm going to lower the opacity there just a bit. so now I'm pretty good. Getting texted right there. Bear with me. All right, so now if I hit Command D, there we go. There's my text. All right, so let's see. I went back to my original cardboard layer, and what I want to see is, can I put a picture in there? So I'm going to choose a picture of me, not to embarrass anybody but myself, and I'm going to cut out the white background. So I'm going to hit Command J, turn off my background layer, and just add a blank background. And make sure that I select the layer with the picture. I will select the blank layer more often than not, and try to figure out what I was doing wrong. It was because I didn't have the right layer. In this case, because I have a good white background, I'm just going to go select color range, and I'm going to go to my selection tool and put it on minus, and I should be able to clean that selection up. So all the little white portions that are selected on my shirt, my hands, if it's on minus, it's taking away the selection. A couple on the camera. If I need to add the selection, I can just go to the plus here. All right, so now I'm just going to hit delete and Command Z. There we go. All right, so delete, and you can see there's my selection there. Command D to deselect. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this like a high black and white by using the thresholds. Now, I converted this into black and white. I need to be in a grayscale mode for this to work. Click merge, that's fine. I don't have anything else under there. I'm going to go to image adjustments, and I'm going to go to threshold. And you can see I get this very high black and white. And I just want to make sure that I have some detail in my shadows. Here we go. And now if I go up to select again, select color range, I'll select the white again, hit delete, and I'm left with a completely just black and nothing. Command D to deselect. Go up to my selection tool, and let's move that over into the cardboard. Great, my computer didn't freeze. That's a good thing. Same thing. Command click, go back to new layer, click OK. Now if I turn off me, you can see there's still a selection. I'll go to my rectangular marquee, control click, inverse selection, and then go back to my paintbrush. If this is white on white or different colors, I can hit D again to default. And you can see, I'll put back on the pressure. I can spray paint a stencil of yours truly on there. Command D to deselect. And there's the part of the picture that you can add a stencil to. So as you're making your protest posters, I want you to add either a sprayed picture or a sprayed text to it. The text is a little easier, but it's kind of fun to do the picture. So give them both a shot and see which one works. Try it, turn off one of the layers, but incorporate one of these in your protest poster, or go ahead and just create a sample of the text and the sprayed picture, and we'll see how it looks. All right, let's go ahead and get to work.